Last month's May Lancaster County Planning Commission meeting after a month off. Thank everyone that's in attendance. Has everyone read last month's meeting minutes? Any changes or updates noted? That said, I'd like to make a motion to accept was March 2024 minutes. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. All right. Moving right ahead, looks like we've got two public hearings slated for tonight. Both of them are zoning changes. Ms. Hall, you want to bring us up to speed, please?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have for you tonight an application for change of zoning district classification from R1 Residential General to C1 Commercial by Donna McNeil, Fillmore trustee, for a .477 acre parcel with improvements identified as tax map number 16-40B, located at 10428 Mary Ball Road, just off of Virginia State Highway 3. Article 8 of the Lancaster County Land Development Code outlines permitted uses and regulations for the C1 district. The applicant wishes to utilize the existing house on the property as an office for their business, Brookvale Mini Storage, which is located on the adjacent parcel. Currently, 1640B is zoned R1, and the applicant wishes to be in compliance with allowable uses of the zoning code. This rezoning request may be considered reasonable and appropriate if the nearby parcels have business or commercial uses, and there's a GIS map attached to your package which shows this. The parcel adjacent to this parcel is zoned C1 and is used for the Brookvale Mini Storage business. There are also two C2 parcels nearby. The comprehensive plan suggests that commercial activity be located in or near the towns and in or near traditional village areas. This parcel is not within the county's primary growth area, the triangular-shaped area between the three incorporated towns of Kilmarnock, Irvington, and Whitestone. This parcel is, however, located off a major thoroughfare described in our comprehensive plan and within an area of commercial use parcels. To help their request, the applicants have offered and signed a notarized conditional rezoning proffer, which was attached. This issue has been advertised to adjoining property owners and notified as required by code. To date, I had one adjoining property owner call, and she was not opposed.
You guys have any questions for Ms. Hall before we open up the public hearing? I think we all know the piece. Okay, with that said, we'll now open up this portion of the meeting for a public hearing. If you'd like to come forward and speak, I'd ask you to kindly state your name and your district, please. And you're the applicant, yeah.
Hi. Originally, my father had the office in the little building where it was, and then when the AC unit caught on fire, he moved it in the house, and he found it was so much nicer just to get out of bed and walk in there and do it. Since then we moved out back into the little building when we did the U-Haul. Well, Dad passed, the house has been vacant, and I just think it'd be so much better and a lot more room if we just moved it back into the house. I don't want to rent the house and turn it into a rental property, and it's just sitting there. So I just want to use that. It wouldn't be making more traffic, it'd be the exact same traffic that it was before. It would just be in the house rather than in the little teeny building.
Steve Smith lived in that house, was it?
Originally?
Yes.
I believe he's the one who built it, yes.
Yeah. his
And
dad, I
he
think,
sold
worked
part
for-
of that land to VDOC
Yeah,
that he
okay.
had,
I remember
yes.
dropping him off the bus there.
Yes.
That's what I thought. I'll be honest with you, I was talking to these gentlemen earlier, I thought it was already zoned commercial, to tell you the truth. I mean, so.
No. And, you know, when I came in and spoke about it the first time, we looked it up and everything, but, yeah, because he had the office in there, but nobody living there. It couldn't be a home office.
Yeah, well,
So-
I think you did a nice job of cutting everything out of the
Yeah.
commercial zoning to specify exactly what you want to use it for. You guys have any questions, comments? Thank you. Glenn, do we have anybody online? Does anyone else like to come forward? Questions or comments? Nobody's online? So we'll close this portion of the public hearing. What do you guys think? Hang out. I don't see a problem. Like I said, I always thought it was commercial anyway. What do you thought?
Don't see any problem with it. Fine with me.
It's natural.
Yeah, see? I want to make a motion.
Sure. I move that we forward to the board for approval the rezoning from R1 Residential General to C1 Commercial for the tax map number 16-40B.
Okay, we've got a motion on the table with the favorable consideration. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Moving right along. Thank you guys very much. We have another application for changes in district classification. Ms. Hall.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We have an application for change of zoning district classification from R1 residential to C1 commercial by Mr. Greg Berkshire for a .5 acre parcel with improvements identified as tax map number 7-67, located at 4016 Mary Ball Road, which is the corner property at Virginia State Highway 3 and Maratica Road. Article 8 of the Lancaster County Land Development Code outlines permitted uses and regulations of the C1 district. The applicant wishes to utilize the existing building for retail seafood sales. Historically, this property has been used commercially since 1974, and I attached some documentation in your packet for that. Currently, tax map number 767 is zoned R1, and the applicant wishes to be in compliance with the allowable uses of the zoning code. This rezoning request may be considered reasonable and appropriate if the nearby parcels have business or commercial uses, and I've attached a GIS map illustrating this in your packet. The parcel diagonally across the street, tax map number 7-47, is zoned C1, and there's a cluster of C1 parcels which can be found approximately 1.08 miles south on Maryball Road. The comprehensive plan suggests that commercial activity be located in or near the towns and in or near traditional village areas. This parcel is not within the county's primary growth area, the triangular-shaped area between the three incorporated towns. This parcel is, however, located off a major thoroughfare described in our comprehensive plan and across the street from another commercial-use parcel. To help their request, the applicant has offered and signed a notarized conditional rezoning proffer, which is attached. This issue was advertised to adjoining property owners and notified as required by code, and to date, I had one response from the property owner at the rear of his property, and they were not opposed to his proposal, and just mentioned that they'd like to get some reassurance from him that they will respect the property lines. And she said she didn't have any issues with what he wanted to do with the property.
Seems fair. You guys have any questions for Ms. Hall?
Just one real quick. I think I know the answer, but the proffer that we'll give it, if this was to be rezoned, the proffer goes with the new owner. Is that right? That's correct. isn't it?
That's correct.
Perpetuity, right?
It goes with the land.
The land.
Well, that's what I mean. It
Yeah.
goes with the, okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, this piece is just like a lot of the other ones along Route 200 between Kilmarnock and Irvington. They were commercial, and we being the county, just blanket zoned that as a legal non-conforming use, correct? Or as a non-conforming use, I guess it's,
Well, it had that use prior to zoning becoming effective in Lancaster County. I mean, it was always a service station.
it was built to be a service.
Yeah, I mean, they worked on cars and they sold gas. And, I mean, the first two folks who ran it, that's what they did. And then the last one, Ricky Allison, had Lancaster Auto and Marine, and he also worked on boats. So it's had a history of being a, auto sales and service shop that predates zoning.
Yeah,
So-
since
so-
its inception, really. Like y'all's property, I just assumed it was always on commercial take too. You guys have any other questions? No? Okay, we'll take this opportunity to open up our second public hearing tonight for the application for change of zoning district classification, Greg Berkshire. Again, if anyone wants to come forward, I'd ask you to please state your name and the district that you represent.
Bring it up if necessary. Is he online?
Is he online? Anybody online? Yes.
I need you to lower your microphone so there's like,
Yes.
have it over.
Is that better? No one's online, no one stands up. We'll close this portion of the public hearing. What do you guys think?
Again, I don't see anything wrong with it. I mean, it's always been a business as long as I knew.
Yeah.
Until I got this, I actually had forgot about Dollar Foster. Seriously, I remember that now that I got the spanking.
Yeah?
It's a nice opportunity for the upper end of the county
You
to
go
have
by
a
there every
seafood
Every day, yeah.
Exactly.
option.
Yeah. Like I say, it was built for that, it's always been used for that, it's never gone out of that commercial use as far as I know. All right. You want to make another
Sure,
motion, please?
sure. I move that we forward this to the Board of Supervisors with a recommendation of approval for the change of zoning district classification from R1 Residential General to C1 Commercial for tax map number 7-67.
Thank you, Ms. Booth. We've got a motion on the floor for favorable consideration of this rezoning request. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Okay. Thank you, guys. They should all be this easy. Okay, moving right ahead, we've got one discussion item on our docket tonight, request to update the definition of boat pier private in Part 1 zoning ordinance. Ms. Hall?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Bubba, good seeing you.
We have for you a discussion item with a request received to update the definition of a boat pier private in Part 1 of the zoning ordinance, Article 1, definitions of the Land Development Code, County of Lancaster, Virginia. County staff and the Board of Supervisors received feedback from multiple local residents and contractors that Part 1 zoning ordinance, Article 1, should be updated to align with the updates made to the Code of Virginia in 2006. These requests were attached to your packet. Currently, our zoning only allows for 250 square feet for an L or T or other structural configuration for private use. The Virginia State Code was updated from 250 square feet to 400 square feet, March 31st, 2006 for L or T platforms. Updating the code language to 400 square feet would eliminate confusion for designers and homeowners and allow for larger piers. Larger piers would also generate more tax revenue while providing more space for residents to enjoy and access the water. This update to the code would also streamline the review of permits, potentially saving homeowners money on revisions that will no longer be necessary due to uniformity with the state and county code. The Board of Supervisors has directed the Planning Commission to review this section of the zoning ordinance, Article 1, for updates to the definition of boat pier private. This discussion is envisioned as a work session to identify potential revisions to the existing county ordinance to address the residents' and contractors' concerns.
Thank you, Ms. Hall. Any recommendations from staff?
I would recommend updating the code to the 400 square feet because I think it benefits everyone, the county in terms of taxes, and also the homeowners who want additional dockage space and the designers who want to give that to them and have struggled to deal with the fact that we're the only locality that really didn't go up to that 400 square feet. So they frequently turn in applications with more than 250 and then have to revise them.
It's interesting, I never knew it was an issue, so actually I'm glad that you brought it up. But I would agree with you, we'd hate to lose a new homeowner just because they couldn't get the size dock that they wanted. So this will put us in alignment with pretty much every other county.
Correct. And with the state requirements as well, which
I
will
mean,
really
basically-
streamline it.
We're talking 10 by 15, it's not the,
Yeah, I was amazed that it was different.
yeah.
Yeah.
When, I don't know, well, Dr. Bay, I don't know who said something, but I can see a problem right on Indian Creek. Guy on one side is in Northumberland, he can build his dock certain size. I live on the other side of the creek, I'm in Lancaster,
Yeah.
but I can't have a dock like he's got over there.
Do we have anyone, like, just say that John Doe goes out, he's already got a pier, and then, the guys are out doing what they do, and they just add on to it? I mean, does that ever come up at question? Because I can tell you, I've been on some docks that are probably bigger than 250 square feet.
Yeah.
I'm not mentioning anybody's name.
Well, we do have some that are grandfathered,
Okay,
that
so
were
that's how you-
already
yeah.
larger.
Okay.
And then anything that was used commercially is going to be much larger, and then if they transferred that to residential,
But we don't have staff that goes out and checks this, do we?
No, but neighbors tell on neighbors all the time.
yes.
I'm sure they do. And of course, there's Google too. I mean, their satellite imagery is pretty damn nice. Honestly, I use it a lot. So you referenced this as a discussion item to bring forward as a public hearing, or what are we looking to do with this?
I think we could update the definition of the code to match the language in the state code and then bring it forward as a public hearing if you were all
Public
comfortable.
hearing, that doesn't suit with the board?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, does anyone here have any heartburn about changing it from 250 to 400?
Not really. A
You're in the
quick
marine
question though.
business.
So Don, in this, so am I reading this right? So in the smaller creeks, you could only build 1/4 of the width of that creek? Is that the limitation?
You want to take that?
Sure. Technically, our code defers to the state or the feds, which in this case would be the Army Corps of Engineers. So if they allow more than a quarter of the waterway, then we will allow it as well. But our code says a quarter, and I think the state code is actually a third, so they allow more. So technically, we're not limiting anyone if the state allows up to a third and approves it, because we'll defer to their judgment. So we don't have to change that section of the code, but if you wanted to, we could, just to be uniform with the state code.
I just think that makes sense in the smaller creeks when you're kind of, a couple of them are real narrow, like, if you go 400 feet out, I mean.
Yeah.
Right.
that'd be around.
Right.
And if our code reads that way, then someone might be more inclined to adhere to that quarter of the
Yeah.
water rate,
Yeah.
and not propose a third. So if you want to, we could keep that language as a quarter.
I think we should keep that portion of it in there. I mean, the smaller.
No problem
creeks.
there.
Somewhere like where Steve lives, where it's just big water, and I don't think 400 feet's gonna bother anybody,
Yeah.
you know?
400 feet won't get you that much depth either, will it? Okay, so what would you like us to do? Do you want to just, do we need to vote on anything?
Yeah, I would say make a motion to amend the definition to be 400 square feet and bring it to public hearing in June.
All right.
What he said.
Putting words in our mouth. All right, I'll just go ahead and just make a quick motion that we would like to update our current pier regulations from 250 to 400 and bring it forward to next month's meeting for a public hearing, please.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, opposed? Wow, this is a lot easier than last month, or the month before.
It's not over, don't jinx it.
That's true. Yeah, I'm waiting for your presentation.
It's going to be very, very short.
Okay. Election time again, guys. Here we are. I can't believe it. It just seems like we just did that. But Mr. Gill says it's just all part of getting old, and I agree.
That's right.
Here we are. So currently, I'm the chairman. Ms. Booth is the vice chairman. Is there anyone that would like to take over my position? Because I'd be happy to do it. I mean, it's completely up to you guys.
No, I think you're doing a good job.
Yeah, this is, what is it, Huck Finn or Tom Sawyer? I can never remember which one it is, but thank you very much. Glenn, what are your thoughts?
I'm fine. Y'all doing a wonderful job.
You didn't know it was gonna be cradle to grave, did you?
Well, it helps because we've got such a good group, honestly.
Yeah,
It does
yeah.
help.
I'm fine.
BCA.
Yeah, that's true. But you still get to vote. All right. You want to make a motion, Dave, or? I mean, it's completely up to you guys. I don't want you to feel like you have to. It's completely up to you.
No, I've done it in the past. So we're talking about all, what, 3 positions? Crystal, 2?
Yep.
Yeah, Crystal too, yeah, absolutely. Sorry, Crystal. Talk about cradle to grave.
Does anyone want to unseat Crystal?
Steve. I'll make a nomination.
Okay, the 3 incumbents have done a fine job over the past year, as they've done over the last, what, 20 years? Whatever it's been.
It hasn't been that long.
So I'll nominate each for their current positions.
Thank you, Mr. Chubb. We've got a nomination of the same sitting, I don't want to call officers, but same members of the planning commission to retain their positions. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Here we are. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it. Okay, the moment we've all been waiting for, Mr. Sorensen.
I don't know why I'm on here, but there's really not a whole lot going on. There's been a lot, all of a sudden, appeals coming up, but they're mostly for yard variance setbacks. Nothing that outstanding. Do you agree?
Yes.
Nothing outstanding I can see, but there have been several lately, and obviously we've got a couple more.
Any
coming up.
contentious?
No, everything's been moving real slow, real smooth, rather,
Really?
real smooth. I mean, I get my meetings done before you can get yours done, but that's just,
Duly noted. Okay, so this conference, I thought you were giving us, you're not giving us the conference update then?
Nope, that's me.
All right, see, I was confused. Well, thank you, Mr. Sorensen.
yes, sir.
Any other questions for our Board of Zoning Appeals member? No?
Thank
Thank you. Okay, I guess that'll be under other business, and Ms. Hall?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Chairman. The American Planning Association is having their 2024 conference in Williamsburg, July 21st through the 24th. We wanted to open this opportunity up to you all. You have the option to attend the whole conference or just a day. They have just released their agenda. I'm going to email it all to you so you can see if there's anything that particularly interests you, or if you'd like to attend, just let me know, and we can see about getting you registered. So I'll email that to you after the meeting this evening.
Are all staff, county staff going, or?
John Bateman's going.
Yes, John Bateman is going. I think I might be out of town, but if I'm in town, I'll go.
Yeah.
When do you need to know by?
July 5th, I believe, is the, oh no, is that?
That's when the refund, so
Yeah.
yeah, I would say by the next meeting date in June, your June 20th meeting.
You could just make a note to remind us, but I mean.
And I'll send you that agenda, and
the
then I'll
document.
remind
Yeah,
you.
you can look at that agenda. If any day particularly appeals to you, we'll register you for it, and, we'll cover your mileage down there and back.
Can we sneak away to Busch Gardens?
If
That
they,
won't work?
well, that's up to you. And if you want to attend the whole conference, we'll pay for the lodging at the, I think it's the Williamsburg Lodge, so.
That's very generous of the
Yeah.
county. Take the kids and everything?
No.
Grandparents, the babies.
Exactly. Now you're talking. So, okay, thank you for that update. Seems like a pretty good thing. There might be some other business. Ms. Booth, did you want to?
Well, I just thought I would bring it up because it came up in
Face that man
conversation
right there.
prior
Face
to the meeting tonight, that some of us kind of like this earlier time, and wanted to throw out there how anybody felt about 5 or 5:30 for a compromise.
Talk to them guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's working?
All depends on the weather. If it's warm, if it's hot, 6 o'clock, a lot of times I'm going back work, 5 o'clock I'm back work. But I'll do my best to try to make it, but, ain't no guarantees, not this time of year. At least when July rolls in, July and August.
I know you
But,
work
I'm
with
six-
people.
What impact does it have on the applicants, though? That would be my concern.
Yeah, that's what yeah. But,
6 o'clock is fine with me. I mean, I prefer 6 o'clock.
Yeah, moving it
But-
up to 5, I'm just wondering if people,
Yeah.
some applicants working or something like that, does it put them at a disadvantage?
Okay.
What y'all would think about moving it up to 5?
Yeah,
Huh?
that's what they talking about.
I thought it was at 7. Was it 7, then it went back to 6? Now you want to go to 5?
But 6 is
She's,
fine.
yeah.
I mean, I really
Out
don't care.
there.
I mean, I'll do my best trying to make it in here.
No, we don't want to make it harder for you.
No, I mean, either way, if you move to 6 o'clock and I can't make it, if you move to 5,
It's already
Yeah.
moved to 6.
Yeah.
right, but what I'm saying, if you move it to 5 and I'm going back work, I'm still going back work. So, but I'll try my best, and if y'all want to move to 5, I mean, that's fine with me. Earlier, the better. If
think
I mean,
there's
if
some
that's what y'all want to do.
Well, think about it, how about that?
Yeah, I mean.
I knew.
It's not gonna make me any difference.
Yeah.
But I would just think with the public, you know,
I'm fine either way.
citizens.
Yeah, I'd rather have it 6 than 5.
So we're split.
We're split.
What are your thoughts?
And in the wintertime, 5:30 would be fine, but like now,
It's tough.
I kind of struggle to get here today. I should have been going another couple of hours.
Yeah.
Try. It's.
Maybe bring it back in the
It
fall,
took 10 years to get it to 6 o'clock. We're just starting the process.
5:30.
No, but anyway, thank you for that. Anything coming up on the pipe?
We've had a request to look at the waterfront overlay district. It's having some consequences for people who are not necessarily on tidal water. So if you're within 800 feet of perennial, you also have to meet the 2-acre minimum when you subdivide. So we've had some feedback from the community that they don't particularly like that because it's limiting their subdivision abilities. So we were asked to look at that and see if we couldn't change that language and consider
D'Onofrio
it.
came and wanted to do that for that project across from Hills Court. All right, but right now, we don't know if that's even going to come up or.
Well, no, you'll get it next month, I
Yep,
believe,
next
as a
month.
discussion item.
And I'll have some
to talk about.
examples that you could see how it affects a subdivision
Yeah.
and limits how many lots you could get.
Okay, sounds like fun. You guys have anything else?
Olivia, could you also bring back how many properties it actually affects? Like, are there?
I don't know if we can, Glenn, is
that
it
too
any
hard
way,
to delineate?
is it any way we can query the the parcel database to come up with how many parcels are affected by that 800-foot within tidal waters?
I figured it's really more of a GIS than a real estate database thing.
Okay.
What we have to make it through.
Okay, all right. We'll see what we can do. I don't know, that might,
Yeah, I don't even think the GIS even references streams that I'm aware of that.
no,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know if I've got enough information for GIS.
It would be, yeah, it would be neat to have the waterfront overlay district mapped, which is something we could maybe consider getting a consultant to do
Yeah,
at some point. And then you would be able to see all that and query it.
Yeah.
Okay,
Thank you.
sounds like fun. You guys have anything else you want to add? All good? Okay. This meeting is adjourned.
All right, good job.
Thank you all.
Done.